Mercury HG. Have you played it? How many games do you know of that let you play as a blob of liquid metal? I can think of 4, all of them which are games in the series. Mercury HG is essentially an HD remake of the original Mercury game on the PSP. Get it? HG? It sounds like HD, and it's also the chemical symbol for Mercury? Huh? Hey, don't be mad at me, it's the developer's joke, not mine. Mercury is a puzzle platformer hybrid in which you play as a drop of Mercury and navigate various platforms. Well, that's not entirely true. You can't actually control the Mercury, you're actually controlling the tilt of the table, and the Mercury is following the flow of gravity. While that might seem strange, the controls are actually quite solid. Or should I say liquid? Huh? Alright, you can be mad at me for that one. The main game, known as Discovery Mode, takes a unique approach on level menus, where each element of the periodic table represents a different level. I find it funny though that if you actually want to play the Mercury level on your Mercury game, you have to buy the Heavy Elements DLC pack. The Heavy Elements is one of 2 $3 DLC packs, the other being Rare Earth Elements. The game itself only goes for about $5, so everything together will run you up about $11, and you get a good amount of content for that $11. And if you are really against DLC, just note that both of these have achievements tied to them, so if you want to go for full achievement or trophy completion, you're going to need to buy them. But even the $5 base game is still a good amount of content, and it will keep any puzzle player busy for a little while. So now that I got sidetracked by prices, let's go back to what Discovery Mode actually is. Discovery Mode is just to get your blob of Mercury from the starting point to the checkerboard finish. Sounds simple, right? Well, it's not. The levels aren't just flat surfaces. They can have bumps, holes, no edge walls, jumps, conveyor belts, magnets, horizontal and vertical moving platforms, moving obstacles, specific color activated switches, sharp edges that split your blob, and the ever popular collectible. All this level variety makes Mercury HG quite an interesting game, and if you want to get all 4 atoms, this game's equivalent of stars or medals, there's a good incentive to replay your favorite levels. The atoms are awarded for completing various tasks. The first one is awarded just for simply completing the level, another one's awarded for having 100% of your blob left by the time you finish, another one for finishing under a specific amount of time, and the last one for getting all the collectibles in the level. There are also online leaderboards, but I'm not sure those are going to be incentive enough to keep playing. I mean, just watch the world record for this level. Yeah, good luck beating that. If Discovery Mode isn't challenging enough for you, there's also the appropriately named Challenge Mode. In this mode, you complete each challenge by collecting a specific number of pickups with a set amount of Mercury remaining under a specific amount of time across multiple levels. And when you're done with that, you can do it again with tighter restrictions, and after you've done that 2 or 3 times, then the challenge is complete. Beating part 1 of the challenges generally isn't too bad, but by the time you get to the 3rd part, they become brutally difficult. And this is the only thing keeping this game out of my completion log. And if the challenge mode is just too much for you, there are also bonus levels. These levels can be difficult in their own right, but nowhere near the level of difficulty as the challenge mode. In these levels, you start off as a small percentage of your overall Mercury blob, and you have to collect all the veils with your remaining Mercury by the time you get to the end. One more detail I want to add is about the soundtrack. Every time you start a level, the game starts playing one of its tracks at random. And the reason I want to bring up the soundtrack is because it always seems to be a hit or miss. Either you really like it or you really hate it. Personally, I actually really like it, except for one. There's one track in the game that I just can't stand. Ah, it's that one! Make it stop! Oh, that's better. Well, whether you like the soundtrack or not, or choose to just use your own music, it is pretty cool that the background, as well as your Mercury, actually pulse to the beat. So Mercury HG is a difficult game, but for the most part quite enjoyable. If you're looking for a challenge, you may want to give this one a shot. And if you've played and liked any of the other Mercury games, there's no reason you shouldn't like this one too. And if you're just a fan of puzzle games, or even platformers in general, I think you might like this. On the other hand, due to the high difficulty of this game, I can definitely not recommend this one to anybody with a short temper. I've definitely had my raging moments on this game, and I consider myself a pretty reserved person, so I can only imagine how other people react to this. So also definitely stay away from this if you just want games with easy completions. Remember though, that difficult does not mean impossible. If you play this game enough times, you'll eventually get in the groove with it, and you can probably beat it. But if you're not willing to do some levels many, many times, you're not going to want to play this game. And then there's also the matter of the DLC with achievements / trophies, so if you don't want those, you gotta stay away from this too. One last side comment I want to make, maybe it's because I've been playing a lot of Crown Plus lately, but I feel like this game would make a really good 3DS game. I feel like this game would go perfect with the underused gyroscopic controls of the 3DS. And if I'm wrong, there's still the thumbstick, and I think that'll work just fine. I mean, after all, the game still has solid controls on the consoles, or should I say wait, I used that joke already. They're solid, like metal, because it's, you know what, never mind. Have you played it? Tell me what you think if you've played it. I think you might check it out. Have a good day, keep playing those obscure games, and I'll try to come up with better material for next time.